Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I just got back from my trip to Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I did a little walk along the shores of Lake Superior, took a Convoy C8 flashlight from Yooperlite.com out and looked for some Yooperlites, and we also took some pictures of the northern lights while we were there. So I'm gonna take you to the laptop, show you where we went to find the Yooperlites, and then I'm gonna show you how many Yooperlites we found. I just wanted to take a second and show you guys where we stayed when we went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan on vacation. I booked this Airbnb in Ironwood, Michigan. The reason that I picked the town of Ironwood is it was about 15 minutes to Lake Superior from there. It was about an hour and 15-minute drive to the copper mine, the Caledonia copper mine, where we did some copper mining. It was also about an hour to an hour and a half drive to a couple other things that we wanted to do while we were there. We hiked up to Lake of the Clouds. So this was kind of just a central location that I picked in a town. Ironwood's big enough that there's restaurants, a Walmart, just gives you more options. There was a couple golf courses. We played 9 holes of golf while we were up there. So Michelle was awesome. The Airbnb looked exactly like it does in the pictures. Everything was clean, comfortable. The house is updated, but still has a little bit of the history of being an older house. I think it was original wood floors in the house still. So that's cool. I like the older architecture blended with the updates. But everything looked really nice. The beds were really comfortable. There's actually a sauna in the basement. I didn't use the sauna while we were there, but if you were going to go up there and go snowmobiling or ice fishing, I could see where that would be an amenity that might come in handy. There was a nice back porch. There was deer in the yard almost every night we were up there. We actually did, I don't know if you can see it right here, there's an old record player right there, so we listened to some of the old records. She had some Kenny Rogers records and stuff in there. We listened to some old records while we were waiting to go do something one afternoon, waiting to go play golf actually. But so it was just a really nice little Airbnb. I know she has 2 other ones in the town of Ironwood, so if you're looking for a place to stay, should definitely check this one out. We were really happy with the house for the couple days that we stayed in it, and it was just a cozy Airbnb. This is the Little Girls Point County Park. This is the county park that we went up to on the shores of Lake Superior to take some pictures of the northern lights. We walked down the beach at dark and looked for some Yooperlites. The camping areas in the park were already closed for the season, but there was a parking lot down toward the end of the park. There's actually a parking list. You just barely can't see it on this picture right here. There's a parking lot right here where you can just walk down to the beach. There was a lot of people at the beach collecting rocks. We went up there the afternoon that we got to Michigan. It was really windy, like 25 mile an hour northwest winds coming off the lake, but I think that was actually good for us because it was washing waves up on shore and turning over all the rocks that were on the shoreline. It did that for the first day that we were in Michigan, and then the second day we were in Michigan, the winds died down to almost nothing. So that's the night that we chose to go up to the parking lot about 30 minutes before dark. We grabbed a couple sandwiches from Subway, had dinner in the parking lot, and then waited for the sun to go down. And when the sun went down, we started walking down the shore and used the Convoy C8 to look for some Yooperlites, and then we also used both of our phones to take some pictures of the northern lights. if you go to a map of the area, it looks like this in the overhead view. You actually come up Lake Superior Road right here. The county Little Girls Point County Park is right here. GPS will take you to about right here. But if you go around the curve and come down Lake Road right here, the parking lot is actually right here. There's a bathroom in the parking lot. There's a couple street lights in the parking lot. So if you have some younger family members that you want to look for some Yooperlites in the dark, but don't want it to be dark, there's beach right here actually stayed kind of lit up. There was about 14 people there when we were there. A couple of people turned the lights on in their cars and pointed them down at the beach also. We walked down from the parking lot and actually walked up this side of the shoreline. I'm not exactly positive how far up the shoreline we walked. I don't think we walked that far. It seems like you walk a lot farther in the dark than you actually do, but I know for a fact that we didn't get to this curve right here, but I'm guessing we walked to maybe somewhere in here, and then we actually met up with people that were walking the other way down the shoreline, and we both had pretty good Yooperlite hunting flashlights, so I had a pretty good feeling that if we kept walking where they had already walked, we weren't going to find much more. So we stopped about, my guess is about right here, and headed back. But I actually did find about 3 or 4 more Yooperlites on the way back because other people were following us down the beach. And I think between them and us walking on the beach, we actually kicked rocks over while we were walking. So that exposed more Yooperlites for the walk back. But let's go out to the garage. I'll shut the lights off and see if we can get some good pictures and video of the Yooperlites that we found. This is the gold pan of the Yooperlites that we found in Little Girls Point County Park. I think there's 28 of them total. I'm not exactly positive if this is a Yooperlite or not. It glows kind of yellow under a UV light, but it's like a dull yellow, so, but I kept it anyway. We also picked up this gold pan of rocks when we were up at the beach. All of these rocks actually glow light blue or kind of purple colored. This is the flashlight that I bought to go search for the Yooperlites. The flashlight is from Yooperlites.com. It's the Convoy C8 flashlight. It's one of the brightest flashlights that you can get to search for Yooperlites. It came with a holster. I think it was around $100 for the flashlight. It does have these really big rechargeable lithium batteries that come with it. It came with a plastic case to hold the extra batteries and another little holster, soft holster to put the extra batteries in when you're out hunting. The batteries last for about 4 hours. We were out for maybe 2.5 hours, and I used one set of batteries the whole time and never had an issue with them. So I did pass some people on the beach that were using some of the cheaper flashlights that you can get on Amazon, the long wave UV flashlights that you can get on Amazon, and they were having issues with them. A lot of them taped them to a stick so they could hold them like, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches off the ground to try and get the stones to light up. That still wasn't working that well. Every single person that I talked to, there was probably 5 or 6 people that I talked to when we were walking around. Once they saw this flashlight and how it reacted on the beach, I held this at about my shoulder height the whole time I was walking and just scanned the beach like 4 or 5 feet in front of me as I walked, and just walked in a grid or scanned it back and forth as I was walking. My wife and I went out and picked up the rocks as we saw them. But we actually both used the same flashlight just because we could see so good with it. Whereas some of the people that were buying the $30 or $35, $40 flashlights were putting them on sticks, trying to search like 3 inches from the ground, still barely being able to see the Yooperlites. And by the time two people pay $40 for each flashlight and you can still barely see them, you might as well have invested in $100 flashlight that you can see them from 10 feet away. So if you're gonna go look for Yooperlites, especially if you're taking kids with you, I definitely recommend investing in a good flashlight to do it. I was using this Convoy C8. The stones jumped off the beach. We were obviously in a really dark spot. There was no light where we were walking. We'd had headlamps on, but we weren't using them. It was completely dark. And the stones just jump off the beach at you. I picked up some of the stones that we picked up here out of a foot of water. I could see them, and the water was a little murky because it had been windy the day before, but I could see the stones just fine in a foot of water. So if you're going to go up and do this, even if you're only going to do it one time for 2 hours, I definitely recommend investing in this flashlight or a Yooperlite.com type flashlight. He makes a smaller one that's a little less expensive. I don't know if it works as well as this one, but it definitely will work better than the cheap Amazon ones. But what you also need to consider is you need the flashlight to find the stones, but you also want the flashlight to show the stones to anybody that you want to show them to when you bring them home. So it's not like you're just using it the one time that you're on the beach looking for the stones. You're also going to I'm going to use the light now to make a video of the stones. I'm going to use the light to show my friends and family when they come over what the stones look like. I also have a shortwave UV light in my gem and mineral cabinet downstairs, so once I put these stones in the cabinet, it'll be easier to just turn that light on and show them the stones that way. But I also plan on taking another trip up to Lake Superior sometime and hunting for some more Yooperlites again. So it was nice for me to actually invest in the flashlight. But just wanted to shout out to Yooperlites.com. Definitely excited and happy with the purchase that I made from them. It was a great time. We were out on the beach for one night, 2.5 hours, and I think we've ended up finding 28 Yooperlites, and that's with 14 other people out walking on the beach looking for them also. And I actually found one when we were standing around talking to another couple on the beach and let them take that one home with them too. So we actually found 29 of them total. But definitely want to invest in the right flashlight to have an enjoyable experience, and it also saves your back. You don't have to bend over or put your flashlight on a stick, so you can just walk normal, scan the beach. I just scanned the beach back and forth as we were walking, and as you can see, even with the lights on, this flashlight is strong enough to make the stones glow enough that you can probably see it on camera, and even more in person. So I'm going to shut the lights off. I'm going to shine the light on the stones, and we'll see if how well we can see them. I don't know how well the camera is going to focus on these stones, but they definitely look a little brighter in person than they do on the camera, I'm sure, or on the video, I'm sure, but some of the smaller ones are actually some of the brightest ones. Also, some of the ones that I found in the water, about a foot deep in the water, were about this size, you know. This is actually the biggest one that we found. It's, I don't know, just a little smaller than a $50, a little bigger than a quarter probably. And then some of them have like really fine minerals running through them. I think it's sodalite that makes them glow. It's the sodalite in the stone that glows orange like lava. Looks like the end of this one has a lot of mineral in it, and then the rest of the stone doesn't really have that much in it. This is that other pan of stones that I was talking about. See how some of these just glow like a dull yellowish orange color. I don't know what mineral that is, or if it's just not that much sodalite in there. Some of the stones glow like a bluish purple color. My wife really liked those. She thought those were really cool. So we picked those up. I asked some other people on the beach if they saw any of the stones that were like glowing blue or purple, and most of them that had the cheaper Amazon type UV lights said they didn't even know what we were talking about. So I think you could only see those under the Convoy flashlight. But definitely had a good time out in the dark walking along the shore of Lake Superior. It's something I would definitely do again. It's something I would do maybe once a month if I lived up there, but you know, it was nice. The air was crisp. There was just a little bit of wind coming off the lake. There was the sound of the waves hitting the beach. The northern lights were really cool, and so it was a fun couple hours when we were on vacation up in the UP. So I highly recommend it if you can hit the shores of Lake Superior, buy a good flashlight, and find yourself some Yooperlites.